everlasting love.
Hello! Welcome to my shop. My name is Rick Hart, and today I'm going to show you how I created this beautiful walnut carving. This carving features outset letters against a smooth background. I added this cove cut around the outer edge to create the effect of a frame. The wood itself is finished in lacquer to show off its gorgeous grain. This is one of many styles that we use at hiswordandwood.com. To see other styles and to get ideas for your own carvings, visit our website where you can also download the plan for this project in PDF format. In this video series, I'll take you through all the steps from transferring the image to the wood, cutting the outside shape, forming the letters, and finally finishing it. I'll be using some tools such as the bandsaw, oscillating spindle sander, disc sander, and router table that you may not have in your shop. However, most of these tools are luxuries rather than necessities, so I'll also show you how to do the project using more common tools. I created this carving as a gift for an extraordinary person who is truly a trophy of God's grace. The work that the Holy Spirit has done in her life is a beautiful demonstration of how He can redeem our lives when we submit to Him. I'll introduce you to her later in the video and you'll see what I mean. But for right now, let's take a close look at the design and get started. This is the plan that you can download from our website, hiswordandwood.com. The PDF file includes a full-size cutting plan for the project, along with details about the router bits needed and typical cutting depths you might want to use. I've also included a photograph of the finished project. Since this plan is in PDF format, you can easily scale it up or down if you want to change the size of the project. I made this little test carving to help finalize my design. I knew in general what I wanted the carving to look like, but I had two options on how to do it. On this half of the carving, I used this regular 1/8 inch straight bit to cut the outline of the border and this side of the letter. And then I continued with the straight bit back and forth this way in order to lower the background around the letter. On this side of the carving, I started with this pointed 15-degree V-groove bit and cut the outline of the border and this side of the letter. And then I switched back to the straight bit to cut the background down to the same level as this was over here. Even though straight bits are easier to use, I really like the subtle dark outline that the V-groove bit leaves around the border and around the letters. It looks especially nice when you're leaving the wood grain exposed like it's going to be on this project. So what we're going to do is take the V-groove bit and outline all the borders and outline all the letters first, and then we'll come back with a straight bit to lower the background to the proper depth. Normally you want to use the largest straight bit that you can when you're lowering the background. The larger bits remove the wood faster and they also give smoother results. But in this case the project is not terribly large, and I have a lot of tight spaces, so I'm just going to use this 1/4 inch bit throughout. Now if you did have a project that was very large but it still had a lot of tight spaces, what you could do is start out with a smaller bit to get into these little small spaces like this, and then once you have cleared them out, come back with a larger bit to get the speed and the smoothness advantage on the rest of the project. The only problem that you'll get into is that it can be tricky to get the depth cut by this bit to be the exact same as this bit. So you'll probably have to spend a little bit of extra time sanding out any transition points between the two bits. One note about the straight bits: be sure that you buy one that says it can do end cutting. An end cutting bit has teeth on the end of it here that allow it to plunge straight into the wood without burning the wood or jumping around on the surface. I have printed a copy of the plan and cut it out, so I'm ready to transfer the pattern to the wood. For this project, I selected a pretty piece of walnut. Since the wood grain is going to be exposed, I want to set the pattern where it will look the best. There's one small blemish here, and that blemish appears to be very shallow. It doesn't come through to the other side, and it'll probably disappear as long as it's not right in the middle of a raised letter or part of the border. In this case, you can see it's going to be right here in this open area, so it won't be a problem. I've secured one edge of the pattern to the wood using blue painter's tape. So now what I'll do is take my image transfer paper, or carbon paper if you're old enough to remember such a thing, and put it on the wood with a dull black side down. Take another piece of painter's tape and secure this edge just to make sure that nothing moves at all when I'm transferring the pattern. I like to use a colored pen when I'm outlining. That way it's easy to see spots that I might have missed, and I'm going to use a straight edge along all these lines to make the job go quicker. In the pattern, this line right here, this is the profile cut. I've left a note here on the pattern that says leave this line, because when you're cutting with the profile bit, you'll be cutting right up against this line right here. Now this part right here is important, of course, because I'm going to be cutting this out using a bandsaw in my case. You can use other tools for that purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these like that, and then I come back and I mark this line right here, and I want to make that one fairly accurate. Now same thing applies with these shapes right here. I sketch it in as smoothly as I can, but again, if I am off a little bit when I'm actually running the V-groove bit, I'm going to be watching to make sure that line is nice and smooth. But the better I do sketching it in like this, the easier it is to cut. And if I want to, I can put a little extra flare on the edge of these letters. I can modify the letters as long as I do everything consistently. I want to make sure when I'm cutting all these letters that all the line widths and weights of the letters are consistent. The nice thing about walnut, unlike cedar or pine, walnut will hold an edge very, very well. So you can get a lot of fine detail in it that you simply can't get with some of the softer woods. Okay, so now I want to see what I might have missed. So I leave this side taped down, and I lift this side over here. Okay, looks pretty good. I missed this spot up here, and I missed this edge right down here, this very important edge. So I just put the transfer paper back down, and since I have not disconnected it over here, I can make it lay down exactly where it was before. Very, very important. Yep, I sure did miss that spot. Okay. So now, take a look at it. And there it is. So, now we get to head down to the shop and start cutting.